Dads Worldwide. The first word in family management, family budgeting, insurance, bills, food, vacations, research and development, homework, emails, phone calls. Last week we tried to do an oil change and ended up with a new car. Security. Doors are locked, windows shut, house alarm is set. Fingerless gloves. Dads Worldwide. Loyal listeners, possibly you.
What the heck happened there? Okay. Welcome to another episode of Dads Worldwide. We will make you laugh, make you cry somehow, some way. We'll try to make it better, parent. I am your most exhausted host, Brendan, and the other exhausted guy is also here.
Me or him?
Yeah, no, you're the other exhausted guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's totally fair. I didn't know if Chris was also exhausted, but
sorry.
Yeah, don't assume these things. But to be fair, yes, you are correct. Also exhausted is your 17-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, not Joe Filtered, quadruple distilled, your blendmaster of ceremonies himself. Tonight, not Captain Aviators, I am Sans Aviators. Your international sex kitten, Tony fucking G.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Love it.
See how I did that?
I did. And back for the, I don't know how many weeks in a row, Chris. I can't even, we can't count.
Too many, for sure.
Too many.
I was going to say not enough.
Well, nobody internationally would say that.
God, man, I'm so out of it. You're the host of Ask It Anything and what was the pop project there? Sorry, I can't remember the name of it. Thank you. It is Chris.
The ABBA Appreciation Hour.
It is.
And really an hour is not nearly enough.
Yeah.
Right? Like everyone wants more than an hour, but I'm like, hey.
Back off.
Goes a long way. Want to leave them. You always want to end with everybody wanting more.
Yeah, agreed.
If it was up to me, I would go hours.
Understandable.
I mean, I could go on and on about ABBA.
I wish you wouldn't.
One thing I am very excited about, though, listen how crazy this is, gentlemen. Apparently, the vice president and his lovely wife is 40, and I believe the vice president is 41. She's expecting a child at the end of July. How nuts is that for someone in their early 40s to be accepting a baby at the end of July?
Well, we'd have to ask one Phil KOE.
Is he also expecting a baby at the end of July?
Sometime coming up, yeah, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm learning very recently that this is, I guess, more common than I would have ever imagined.
Yeah, it really is. And I never expected that to be the case, but it is.
I am 46 and have a 6-year-old.
Wow. Okay. Well, then, I mean, color me surprised because I keep getting news about people having babies in their early 40s that are due at the end of July. And I'm like, what do I even do with this news? It's shocking.
Well, it's weird because like when Lindsay and I started having kids, we got pregnant the first time when she was 29. So just before she turned 30. She's like, I wanted to make sure I got one in before 30, but she's like, oh, we're going to be those old parents. And I live in my hometown and it's a small town and like half of my class lives there and most of that half has kids our age and more. So yeah, it's and like I just said, Phil, who is also part of my class, is now having a second child and he is 40. So it's a lot more common than you think, at least around here.
Well, and apparently it doesn't even matter what your life circumstances are. That doesn't even stop you from potentially having a child in the 40s that's due at the end of July.
Yeah, why? I mean, why not?
Yeah, there's really nothing stopping anyone.
No one.
No matter what's going on in their life. Nothing whatsoever.
Yeah.
It can happen to anyone at any time under any circumstances.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started at 30. I was 33. I think we had our first kid. and just went from there. So I'm one of the old parents.
I started at 38.
Yeah.
That's when I had my first child.
Yep. See, it's not that surprising.
40, no, I guess not. Yeah.
40 is the new 25. That's what they say. I mean, I don't know who they is, but I'm going to
grab my phone. I didn't expect to get that deeply into this conversation, but it is. But I'm going to add to you. So I sent one of these people that fall into this category that I happen to know the fun fact that I just shared with you, gentlemen, and this person responded back. According to some studies, women who have babies after 40 live to be closer to 100. So I'm just trying to live longer. I was like, smart. I didn't understand when I first got the news. I couldn't make sense of it at all. Now it makes perfect sense to me.
So it's like the fountain of youth.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay. For women, let's be clear.
Oh, I mean, there's lots of things that kill men early.
Well, mostly because they want to die.
Well, I was going to say, mostly it's because of the things that the women are doing to make their lives longer.
Right.
Ironically makes the man's life shorter.
Yeah, it's the yin and the yang. Like,
exactly.
Can't have one without the other.
I don't know what you're talking about. My wife is fantastic. She makes my life easier every day.
Shit, you're right, Brandon. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Greenpeace. I don't know. I'm just trying to say stuff to make Lindsay stop listening. Like,
you shut it off.
Yeah.
Brendan, I was just going to join you in agreement and say my wife also does stuff every day that makes my life easier.
Interesting.
Every day. Yeah.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. I'm in full agreement with that.
Okay.
Well, Tony, we did not get to go over Charlie Kirk with you because you were not able to make the show. I don't know if you listened to the episode. I
did, like immediately after it dropped. I was in the truck driving for like 3 hours, and
nice.
It was actually nice. I was like, "Oh, good, I can listen to this." It was perfect, so it worked out just great. So I was probably like the first listener.
Nice.
Well, and this is a rare situation where historically this would have been flipped. I would have listened to you guys right when we dropped.
Yep.
I would have just had to talk to
That's true.
On my phone.
So my question to you is: anything to add?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
First off, I will apologize to all the listeners, and there's a lot of you, and we thank you. I am in a hotel. I am not using my typical equipment, and I'm not donning my usual sexiest cowboy hat aviator combination. So I apologize for the lack in quality of visual and audio entertainment coming from yours truly, but hopefully we will all move past that quickly, and next week I'll be back to true form. Secondly, yes, last episode, Brendan, you were perfect in every way. Like, I just couldn't agree with you anymore. It was tremendous.
I think
it doesn't really matter what you were saying. Just perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What?
Come on.
Nope.
We're all waiting.
Nope. That's it.
No, that's it.
No, honestly, no. I actually thought the conversation between the two was about perfect because we covered a lot of this, and anybody who's listened to Dark Side of the Fringe, I'll just plug that right now. We've covered this twice now. You can only hear one of them, but twice now on the Charlie Kirk assassination, and we tried to keep it as non-political as possible. And you were able to at least do that a little bit on this last week's episode, where you could give your own personal political feelings and leanings. And I think the big thing is, like, in retrospect, like, it's been half a year now. We're looking back, and it still feels like it had a pretty big impact. You're right; it was the biggest thing to happen last year, and I don't know that it's still impacting politics today, but it's definitely impacting political influencers, big or small. And it's so strange because here in the last few weeks, we've had people dying via, nefarious means, whatever way you want to look at it. And the amount of empathy versus celebration, and just the flip of a coin, it makes it really gross, because you can disagree with someone politically, whether you disagree with Charlie Kirk or not. You don't have to celebrate it. And I think it was a lot more apparent then than it is here in recent weeks with the Renee Good situation, where you didn't see the right like celebrating it. But when people were using it to try to justify things or like prove a point, it just backfired on social media in a really ugly way. And I kind of said this right away when that happened, but if you're still hung up about like January 6th, and again, listen to Chris's interview with an actual January 6th incarcerated protester, it's tremendous, gives you a great example of this, like firsthand account. But the Ashley Babbitt murder, and I will call it murder, you cannot call that what happened to her on January 6th anything but murder if you're going to call what happened to Renee Good murder. It's the same situation. And ironically enough, I literally just saw about an hour ago a notification on X, tomfoolery talking about Renee Good versus Ashley Babbitt. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't click this because it will be the worst thing you've ever fucking heard.
The worst.
It will be the most horrible, worst take you've ever imagined, because it's just Destiny's take, re-garbage and recycled. So, no,
that's just a bad take. Like, if you listen to that, you'd just be angry.
It's automatic. It's fucking automatic. But no, and it's the same thing. Like, you can't call one murder and not call both murder. So if one's murder, the other's murder. If the other's not, then the same's not. Nobody should celebrate these things. And it was both a situation where neither of those people should have been in the situation they were in, but that doesn't justify what happened to them. And celebration is ridiculous because you don't agree with someone. So overall, it still sucks. It just sucks a big fat one.
Hey, Tony,
you bring up a good point that I really forgot about, actually. Yeah, the celebration, the giddiness some people had. It wasn't really the same on the right with Renee, but they were definitely almost giddy. It was just as they
were being snarky about it.
It was just as bad. If we're gonna compare Ashley Babbitt and Ashley Babbitt and Renee Good, if we're gonna compare those two situations, at least Renee Good had a car aimed at a federal agent, whereas Ashley Babbitt had none of those things. She was unarmed. She unarmed, and just did she kick in a window to jump through a door? Yes, she did. Okay, I'm not justifying what she did. However, she was of no threat to that officer, none whatsoever. So, but I agree with you completely. I kind of forgot about that, but when we were on the episode, I did mention that in a couple posts that I interacted with after the Renee Good shooting. And yeah, that's a good point. Although I do think some of the people on the right were pretty disgusting when that happened.
For sure.
Yeah. Chris, sorry, I stepped over you.
No, that's okay. Excuse me. I'm probably one of the few people that keeps trying to move on from January 6th, so I didn't try to make a comparison between the two.
Yeah.
But I guess it's interesting to try to do that. I obviously we keep hearing more and more opinions and discussion about the Renee Good situation. I don't know enough about the laws and procedures and the way that those guys go about their business and how they're trained to really solidify my opinion. It seems like if you hit an officer with your car and he opens fire on you, maybe that enters the territory of justification.
Well, I have a little bit of knowledge in that field, just a little.
Please, please. I want to understand it better, because that's where this conversation seems to take a divide. It's one wants to say she was just trying to drive away, so he was completely unjustified in shooting her. Although she definitely struck him with her car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They want to make a distinction between, well, he shouldn't have been standing there and he hit her by accident or whatever. She was trying to flee. The fact that she hit him with her car was incidental. But, and also I've only heard a couple people mention, by the way, it was her wife who initially tried to get in the car with her that was yelling out, "Drive, baby, drive." So I'm not even sure if Renee Good would have driven off if not for her wife having told her to. I don't know how to sift through this and determine what the pertinent facts are and what aren't.
Right.
And also, I do want to hear what you have to say, Brendan, because I don't know anything about the training or the proper procedures in that situation in order to arrive at a point where I can say for sure that it's justified.
Okay, so DHS policy. Let's just gloss over that real quick. DHS policy. You're prohibited from shooting into a vehicle or at a vehicle. You're not supposed to do it. However, if you feel your life is in danger, ooh, what is that?
I don't know, but I'm gonna drink it.
Oh, nice.
Cookies and cream.
Interesting. It smells like heartburn. That's what that smells like.
Probably.
Yeah. So DHS policy says that you're not allowed to shoot into a vehicle. Now, that being said, if you feel your life is in danger, you are allowed to shoot the driver. That is, okay. It's one of those things that it's kind of like an exception to the rule.
Well, okay, but I think it needs to be made clear there are a lot of people who view ICE agents as essentially volunteers. Now, that's not exactly the case. Do those rules also apply to them?
Yes, they're what's considered a federal LEO, a federal law enforcement officer. They're trained with firearms. They're trained with intermediate weapons. They're trained with, they're trained in deadly force. Whether when they're allowed to use it, when they're not allowed to use it. So the problem is they've been hiring a lot of people kind of off the street. Are these people military, ex-LEO, just regular law enforcement as far as like police officers and that type of thing? Yes, they have been. I don't know.
Second shift at Chipotle, yeah.
Whatever.
So Brendan, before you go any further, I want to have a follow-up question to what you just established.
Yeah.
Is it the up to the sole discretion? Goodness. Sorry. Is it the sole discretion of the person that's being to decide for himself if he feels like his life is in danger? It's that person's judgment alone. Of
course.
Because another distinction that's being made is all these people that weren't there or weren't involved are just looking at the video and they're saying, I don't think his life was in danger. But I think it's a very important distinction to say, no. It's whatever his judgment alone is. So if he thinks he was in danger, that's all that matters. Other people's outside opinions are not relevant to that part of the conversation.
So yes and no. I mean, there are, like, if he ends up going to trial, like there's going to be people that are going to have to watch that and that have no knowledge of any law enforcement experience whatsoever and going to have to decide his fate. Now, that being said, he made several mistakes. He put himself in front of that vehicle. He walked in front of that vehicle.
Yeah.
He did not point it at him. He walked in front of it. So that's a big no-no. You don't do that. Like when you pull someone over and you get up, if you're close enough to their bumper, what you're supposed to do is, if you're not going to go to the driver's side, you walk around the rear of your vehicle and walk up towards the passenger side window and then talk to the person if you're not going to go on the driver's side. And the reason is you don't put yourself in between your cruiser and their vehicle, right? Because they
get pinned
and can hit you. So this is the same thing as officer awareness, right? Like you're not supposed to put yourself in that position, but he did. So we can't say that, so he made a mistake. He made a big mistake. He put himself in that position. Maybe he thought, well, if I stand here, she's not going to drive away. I don't know. I don't want to get in this guy's head, but that's a big mistake. Now, that being said, yes, in the moment, he gets to decide whether or not his life is in danger. He can't see where her wheels are turned. He's standing in front of her vehicle. Everyone's like, oh, well, her wheels are turned. Like, well, yeah, but he cannot see that. So that being said, she pulls away. hits him and he fires into the windshield where I think this is my opinion. This does not have anything to do with policy or anything like that. The problem that he's going to run into is the fact that he put a round through the driver's side window. He was no longer putting it through the windshield. He was no longer in danger. He was stepped to the side of the vehicle and he shot her in the face. So if that's the round that killed her, he might be in a lot of trouble. So, did he feel his life was in danger still? I don't know, maybe, but those are high adrenaline situations. I can't tell you how many times I've served search warrants, or doing just high-risk stops and stuff like that because you think the person's armed. It's a crazy situation. You were amped up. So once he pulls his gun and he starts firing, that's one of those things they also teach you is like when you're shooting, you shoot to stop. It's not you're not shooting to like wound the person in the arm. You're shooting to stop the threat. But so I think the biggest hurdle he's going to run into is the fact that he shot through the driver's side window and not through the windshield. So he was technically no longer in danger. So that is where he might get hung up. And
on that point, Brendan, I heard another discussion on this by people that know far more about it than I do about that point. And they said, and again, you know more about this than I do, but what they said is that once you start discharging your firearm, they don't judge each individual shot or bullet. If you start shooting continuously, then they don't judge bullet 1, bullet 2, bullet 3. It's you can unload if you want to. And so they actually said that's not an issue. That in the middle of that act, like you said, if it's high adrenaline, this and that, like you're supposed to judge in 1.5 seconds. Bullet 1 and 2 that I just discharged was okay, but now she's rotated her vehicle, so now the bullets aren't going through the windshield. Now they're going in the side. Like that's all in like 1.5 to 2 seconds. So in that moment, he's supposed to judge. I can fire off these first 2 bullets, but the third bullet's going to get me in trouble. They were making the distinction in this discussion that's saying that's actually not a problem. He's covered on that.
He may be. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think if he is going to get hung up, it's going to be on that, is the fact that he was no longer in danger and he should have stopped firing.
But how do you make that judgment in 1.5 to 2 seconds?
Well, you don't, especially considering I believe this guy had just, I don't know how recently, but
June. I know what you're talking
recently about. Enough. Yeah, he'd been in a situation where
6 months prior.
Yeah, 6 months. So yeah. And it doesn't even matter that there was a prior thing. Like, this is the thing we've talked about so many times, like on the Dog and Chicken show, when the topic came up. Law enforcement overall has a very, not even below average, just inadequate amount of situational awareness training in the life and death scenario. Because how do you properly train for that? Like, unless you're going the British Secret Service route of like throwing someone out into an actual live round situation where only the strongest survive, and if you don't, well, tough shit, you weren't cut out for it. How do you actually properly train someone for that? It's almost impossible. So especially if we're talking about standard law enforcement, you can increase the training all you want. But once your life is literally on the line in a situation that you could not have possibly been properly trained for, it all goes out the window. But I do digress in that a lot of enforcement agencies do have very low standards in terms of how they train. And a lot of those jobs do attract some of the worst kinds of people, but that's another topic altogether.
Well, I think the other thing you could do is you could make a sports comparison here. So when there's a play and they go to instant replay, and they go under the thing, the officials are looking at the instant replay, and people in the stadium, you're watching the same thing over and over and over again, and super duper slow. And we're all sitting comfortably in our living room watching these replays, very calmly watching it, just casting judgment.
Yeah.
So that's how we get to consume that information. He has to make that judgment right there in the moment
Once.
over a period of 1 to 3 seconds. Yeah, once.
Yeah,
Now, would he have handled it completely different if he could have done that 6 times? Yep, probably so. He would have done a lot of things different. He probably made the mistake, Brendan, that you outlined, and he would have said, "Yep, I did make that mistake," and I would have done a lot of things different in that encounter. But in that moment, under those circumstances, over that tiny bit of time, it's really kind of cheap for the rest of us to judge it from our circumstances, where we get to sit there and look at Twitter and look at this video and watch it over and over and over again and hear a bunch of discussions and do it calmly and rationally. And we're not there in that situation.
It's funny that you mentioned sports, because that's what they say. It's easier to Monday morning quarterback it. Like it's much easier to look at this film and be like, oh, he should have done this and should have done that. I'm just saying, like, he did make a mistake, and I'm saying if he's going to get hung up, it's going to be on that. It's going to be on the fact that he was no longer in danger, and he had already put 2 bullets through the windshield. The third one, that might cost him some grief. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he did wrong. I'm not. And Renee Good made a lot of mistakes too, like being there. Like being there, like harassing the federal agents, like, and it's obvious that they were doing that. And I bet you there's more film of them doing that throughout the day. Like, I'm sure this is not the first encounter with the agents that she had. So, I was talking the plumber that I was working with today, he was asking me about it, and we were talking about it. And I said, a lot of mistakes were made in that encounter. I don't think she should have died. But I can think of a lot of better things to do with my time than to harass, ICE agents. So, I think she made a mistake too. And I think this agent should get hung out to dry. No, probably not. But that's not technically for me to decide. So if he's going to get brought up on charges, because he probably is. I mean, I can't imagine that family's not going to do it, but he's going to have to deal with it. And that's the unfortunate part of law enforcement. Sometimes even when you do the right thing, it backfires.
Yeah. You're probably right. And that may be how it unfolds. I just think if that happens, I'm going to be really frustrated, because I just think it's crazy that between second 1 and second 3, in that period of time, you should decide in second 1, yes, I'm under threat. Second 2, I'm not under threat. So I should change how I'm unloading the 3 or 4 bullets I shot. Like, that seems like a ridiculous standard to hold somebody to.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that if he gets hung up, it's going to be on that.
I know, and I'm agreeing with you. And I'm just telling you, if that happens, I'll be very frustrated, because I'm not a gun guy. I haven't shot off a lot of guns, but how long does it take to unload 3 shots out of a handgun?
Not long.
Less than 3 seconds.
That's what I'm saying. So he's supposed to stop himself in that period of time. He's supposed to judge as the bullets are coming out of his gun. Like, that's
that one did it. Nope. That one did it. Yeah, no, that doesn't happen.
Law enforcement is held to a higher standard,
regardless of it being fair or not. Yes, exactly.
They're held to a higher standard. They're supposed,
and they should be, but it should be more fair to them, i.e., they should be trained. But again, I don't know what kind of training this guy had.
But no human on earth could make a judgment in 3 seconds.
Right, exactly. And like I said, you can't unless you are put through an absolute live round test. Like, it just doesn't. You can't do it. It's impossible.
But you could have thousands of hours of training. It's not humanly possible to hold that person to that standard that you're describing.
Unless you've been to an actual live round war zone situation, you're not going to be able to handle that situation the first time you're in it. If you're just a standard law enforcement, against civilians, that's not how that works.
I guess my bottom line on this whole thing, if we're prepared to move on, is that I just think this is the most textbook case of FAFO ever. Right. That's how I characterize this situation. Honestly, it's super unfortunate. I obviously we're all kind of on the other side of this thing from Renee Good, but we all agree it's a horrible tragedy that she died. Yeah. But it's also the most classic version of FAFO ever. It's just the textbook version of it. Like if she would have just dropped off her kid and then just went and ran errands like a normal person, she's not dead.
Right.
She didn't have to be there. It's not like she came across them incidentally. She was just out running errands and had just ran across this situation. She was there on purpose.
Yeah.
It's complete.
Yeah, she sought it out. She seeked it out, and that's the thing. And I think the quotes even aligned with like the wife that she, oh my gosh, this is my fault. I pushed her towards this, and like,
100%.
and
now they're going to sue.
Completely unnecessary.
Now this guy and his family are in hiding, and he's probably going to face legal action. I mean, this is please.
Well, I mean, officers get sued all the time. Like this is nothing. That's not new, right? Like
just like doctors. Yeah,
they get accused of racism. They get accused of profiling. They get accused of excessive force. They get accused like all of this is like this is not new. So I mean, so yeah, I mean the fact if he didn't get anything pushed against him, I would be surprised.
Well, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. I guess the last thing I would say also is, because you mentioned people's reactions, Tony. I think if you for people that are just that had nothing personally to do with that incident on the left, I'll bet if they were honest, they actually feel a little bit giddy about it, because if there's one thing that they like, it's having a face to put on their cause. And I think that's dark and sick. But I think they're thrilled to have a martyr and a face and a name that they can put on this stuff.
Oh yeah, they don't actually care. That's the fucked up part. They're just thrilled to have a martyr.
Yeah, they've got a George Floyd or Renee Good or whoever else, and they love having a face and a name to put on these things.
Yeah, they don't like the empathy that they actually have towards the people that they agree with. It's not real empathy. It's just, oh goodness, thank you for your sacrifice so I can win an argument.
Yeah.
And that's the sick part.
Because having a face and a name to put on it gives them a lot more power, or at least they think it does. No, I think that's dark and sick, but I think that's true. I think if you ask the average person that's completely detached from the specific event, and they were really going to be honest with their thoughts and feelings towards it, I think they're thrilled that they've got somebody to put on it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's super gross.
It is gross.
It is gross, but I think it's true.
I don't want it to be true, but
I don't either. But it is.
Oh man.
So let's talk about something more fun.
I didn't expect to get in that so quickly. That was good.
I didn't
well, you started it, so
you're right. I did.
Yeah, I was talking about the joyous occasion of children being born, Brendan. If you remember.
Oh, why was I'm such a jerk?
Yeah.
Oh God.
The hell was that?
Here we go. Inception.
Yes.
Here we go.
Get into it.
Look at this.
This is amazing.
So proud of you guys.
Incredible.
1,085 listens between December 22nd, January 21st.
Unreal.
Yes. And that's so great. I'm so glad that there are like a 16th of those people who really like us.
United States blew up. The United States had I think like over 300 downloads just in the last couple days.
Well, we did throw the gauntlet down and say, hey, step up, because the rest of the world is passing you by.
And yet they still came in second to Japan.
That's true.
So crazy.
WTF, America.
Yeah, Australia, United Kingdom tied with 4 each. And so I'm sorry for people that are just listening and not watching. Japan is still in the lead with 560. United States comes in at 515.
The silver medal.
Australia, 4. United Kingdom, 4. Canada, still rookie numbers. They may have been mad that I called them lame. 1.
They were, yes.
And Bangladesh. Everyone else has pretty much dropped off. So I guess.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
And you're welcome.
This is why I'm the international sex kitten. Those numbers will all come back on the next set of analytics.
Yep.
And I'm the international Grim Reaper.
Yeah, apparently.
The Iraqis and Saudis just love the international sex kitten.
yeah, they were very sad that I was not on the last episode. So I am happily here to reel them back in. I'm very humble.
I mean, nothing else has really happened in the news in the last couple of weeks, so we could probably just jump to football.
I was going to say we got to get there.
We might as well just talk about. I'm sorry, Tony. Let's get there. I didn't get to enjoy celebrating it on last episode because I missed it, but I was very concerned. I was very worried. I kept my mouth pretty much shut about it because the Bears had to play the fucking Packers in the first wild card game. And I'm like, I don't even want to talk about it because it's just going to be a disaster if I talk about it. And it was still a disaster. Like, it was one of the most, it was worse than the last meeting in the regular season. Like, it felt worse. Like, Green Bay was just having their way with Chicago. I'm like, this is exactly what I was afraid of, and this is why I kept my mouth shut. And then exactly like the last game, pure crazy, ridiculous magic happens, and they literally do the unthinkable and find momentum late in the game and storm back down, like 18 points. Yeah, it was crazy.
And still allowed Green Bay to score again, and still pulled this thing out. And Caleb Williams has the most ridiculous, like, fourth down touchdown pass you've ever seen. They end up winning this game. Like, it was just, and so they went 2-1 against the Packers overall in the season. It was a momentous, like, victory for Chicago. We won the NFC North. Like, it was just, it felt amazing. And I even said, I'm like, I don't care what happens past this. You can't lose this game. That's why I didn't want to play the Packers in the playoff, because even if you win, you lose, because they're still going to come out, be snarky assholes, and just be dicks about this. And they have been. It's been the worst, like, social media thing ever. It doesn't matter. They're the softest fan base in the world. I'm sorry, they just are. And if you're a Packers fan, please, like, I'll have a conversation with you, but just keep the excuse. Like, Jordan Love played the whole game this time, and guess what? He still couldn't get it done. So spare me, please. It was an incredible game. And then, I really didn't love the matchup following that with the Rams. But, like, if anything, if you can survive the first half without being down like you are against Green Bay, we got a shot. And what a game.
Crazy.
What a fucking game.
Yeah.
But that's been Chicago every week, damn near. It was the most fun I've ever had watching an NFL team, and not just one I'm rooting for. This was a wild game, and another massive comeback in the fourth quarter, and an even better fourth down conversion for a touchdown pass. He's dead to rights. It was like 4th and 11 or something, and he drops back 20 yards while having two guys coming to sack his ass, and threw this stupid pass while in the air and just dumps it to his tight end in the end zone. It was insane. And it's snowing. It was incredible. Goes to overtime, and this is where you see Ben Johnson being a first-time head coach, because all game we were going for it on fourth down instead of kicking for points, and they did it in overtime. Like, the Rams gave the game away. All you have to do is get in the field goal range, kick the field goal, win the game, because they got the stop on defense. And then they get close to being in field goal range, and instead of just throwing a short pass or running, they threw a little deeper. DJ Moore didn't quite get to where he needed to be.
Nope. Gets
a pick, does the Rams, and they end up getting the field goal range and kicking it. And it was a very frustrating finish to the season, but what a year. And it was a very, very close game. I cannot be mad at all. I have no reason to complain. I'm so excited. It was such a fun season. Like, obviously, me and Stryker were very disappointed, but what a game. And the upside is now we don't have to go get skull fucked by Seattle. So, great season. Love the game. It was awesome.
I was rooting for Chicago. Never have done that before, but in the last 2 weeks, I have been doing it because of Tony. I was hoping for the Patriots.
So was I. Yeah.
Bears, but
next year.
Yeah, it was just it was a fun game to watch, and I couldn't agree with you more. Completely mismanaged at the end. I mean,
yeah.
I'm like
Ben Johnson, I think, is a great coach, but you saw that rookie.
I'm like, what are they doing? Like,
I don't know.
But yeah. So I don't. These playoffs have been absolutely nuts.
Yeah, for sure.
Fun. All of them have been fun to watch. I watched Broncos, Bills. That was devastating. Broncos and Bills. It should have been the Bills with some contra. And I will mention that was bullshit. Yeah. Fucking Broncos got the interception. Chicago didn't. And it was the same exact play. Like, questionable shit. So I wanted to mention this call because so for those of you who didn't see it, the receiver comes down with the ball, lands on his back, and then the defender rips it out of his hands and gets an interception.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, if the ball is that loose that guy can grab it, then to me he's either down by contact or it's an incomplete pass, right? Like I don't get this. Like I don't understand. Like,
well, you can't call it one way one game and then the exact opposite the next game.
Of course.
That's exactly what happened in Chicago. That was another one of those things that would have changed the entire game. But I digress.
I mean, that loss of the Bills of the game. I mean, that's not the only thing, but that definitely that was it. That was the death knell for them. I mean,
I was pulling for the Bills 100% because I wanted to see the Bills Patriots because I love that matchup.
Yeah, I love Allen. Hey, man, he's a good.
Yes, of course.
Good dude. So, Chris,
that was a wild one too. And then they lose Bo Nix for the rest of the year. So now Denver is just completely inept of being able to make it the rest of the way.
No, it's okay. Stidham's going to play. I've been highlight reels of his.
Sure. You're full of shit.
Well, we've got a good game this coming weekend, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So the Patriots have just been barely pulling it out sometimes. So,
Brennan, can you? I don't know if you can just find a page that shows all the division winners from this season. I just wanted to compare it to who we picked. So if you could pull that up, and then I'll pull up the picture of what our picks were. I just wanted to revisit that before we go absolutely nuts.
And as both of you are looking things up, you know, that call in the Bills game got Sean McDermott fired.
Yeah, right.
And that made him the 10th head coach to lose his job in this offseason. Number 10.
That's nuts.
There's only 32 teams in the entire league. That means 1/3 of the head coaches fired.
That's crazy.
That's an enormous number. Did you know that the average is usually 6? Which is still 20%. That's still a lot.
Well, half of these coaches I didn't think needed to be fired.
I didn't realize McDermott got fired. This is the first I've
heard. Yeah.
Now the GM that hired him kept his job and gets to choose the next head coach. Sean McDermott fired.
It's crazy. It's crazy because the Ravens fire Harbaugh, the Bills fire McDermott, Mike Tomlin steps down, but somehow the Packers didn't fire LaFleur.
He was rumored. It was rumored to be, but
I was hoping they'd fire LaFleur because I think he's a solid coach.
He is a solid coach.
So I mean, for their sake, it's a good thing they didn't. I was hoping they would.
Absolutely. Well, and so some additional thoughts. You know, Tony, if I were you, and you did say it, I would feel great. I mean, obviously, it feels bad when your season's over. However,
right.
Seasons can end in different ways.
Yeah.
And part of the way you feel about a season ending also involves how you feel about the future of your team. The future is nothing but bright for Chicago, right?
Yeah.
They've got one of the best
I think so too.
League. You know, he turned around a young quarterback who a lot of people wrote off, including me. And there's a lot of teams that came up short. that are at the end of their run, not the beginning like Chicago. So,
True.
for example, what does the future for Philly look like? What does it look like for the Bills? What does it look like for the Chiefs? What does it look like
The
for
Rams?
Come up short.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's a lot of really imposing teams that if they come up short and they don't win at all, their window is either almost or closed.
Well, the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers.
Right. So, and here's the other thing, and this is going to be reflective as we transition into our picks versus reality, is we are in a transition year because going forward, we all knew who we were going to pick in all these divisions. It was pretty obvious, right? There were some questions in the NFC, but the AFC, like the other group of guys that I pick with, we all picked the exact same teams in the AFC to win the division, and we were wrong on all of them, right?
Yeah,
and we were wrong. We were wrong mostly in the NFC too, because we picked the Lions and or the Packers, and we picked the Philly, and we picked. So this is a transition year. It's a changing of the guard, because this is a whole new crop of teams. There's a much bigger turnover between teams that made it in and teams that didn't. There's teams that were wild card teams are now winners of divisions, and next year I don't know who to pick. I don't know.
I know, that's the best part. This feels fresh. It feels new.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. Is
yes.
that every few years the dynasties either begin to die or they die, and then you get to pick a whole new group of teams to try to decide who's gonna dominate the next few years, and that even takes 2 or 3 seasons to work out. So the next 2 or 3 years of picking teams is gonna be really fun. There's gonna be a lot of shakeups. Yeah. Like who's gonna be in the postseason next year? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's really fun. The transition years are really fun for fans.
So let's I'll read off our picks, or do you want to read off the actual winner and then our picks?
No, yeah, just go with our picks first.
Okay, so let's start here. Let's start in the AFC North. I picked the Ravens. Brennan, you picked Cincinnati, and Chris, you picked Cincinnati. Who won the AFC North?
Well, first of all, none of those teams made the postseason.
Yeah.
No, neither of those teams made the postseason.
They made it in and were eliminated. They didn't even make it in.
No, Cincinnati didn't make it in, and the Ravens fired their Super Bowl winning coach. There you go.
Correct. And Cincinnati, I think, won 6 games.
Yep.
Another year where they just could not have defense.
What?
Yeah. It's wild.
Well, also their main quarterback was out for 6.
Well, so was Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know, and that should be a consideration. No.
Yeah, and that was one of those games the Bears couldn't win even without Lamar Jackson in. That was a weird one. Fuck.
Still 112.
That one felt like a same old Bears game. Not gonna lie. Who did win the AFC North?
Sorry, I'm flipping back and forth here.
He can't remember.
No, I'm looking at. Isn't it?
No, that's fair.
I didn't pull. Oh, I guess I pulled up the wrong bracket.
You did pull up the wrong bracket.
Here we go.
You've got the Super Bowl bracket.
Division winners.
Yeah, it's not as easy as you'd think because it's kind of a convoluted fucking mess. Because I was actually going to do this the other day, and when I pulled it up, it was like, well, here's the teams that finished the highest up with the seeding. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, here we go. AFC North.
AFC North. You got to accept them cookies, man. I hope they're chocolate chip.
Jackson. Hey, Steelers. There we go.
So
and
this.
What the heck? There we go.
This is what is baffling to me. So there you have it. The AFC North is won by the Steelers. Okay, so we had the Ravens second, Bengals third, Browns fourth. And the only winning record there is the Steelers. And Mike Tomlin's done. He's resigned, and Aaron Rodgers is retired. And that's the
division winner.
That's the division winner. And the rest of it had a losing record. And honestly, the saddest part, because, yeah, like we said, Ravens fired their coach. Bengals still don't know defense. Somehow Shador and the Browns feel like the most likely team to win that division next season.
No, I mean,
If you ask me right now, I would pick them. I really would.
Yeah,
Yes, I would.
Really? You'd pick the Browns?
I'm going to pick early right now. There you go. I'm going to pick the Browns to win the AFC.
No, I mean, I don't know who's playing quarterback for the Steelers, but I would have to go back to the Ravens or the Bengals.
Well, we can revisit it when that changes, but as it sits right now, that's probably the most consistent team to win it. That's the sad thing.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
So let's move to the AFC South. I had the Jaguars.
Ooh.
Brendan and Chris, you both had the Texans.
We were close.
Yeah.
Jaguars takes it.
The Jaguars take it, but the Texans were at like a razor thin second. So the Jaguars were 13-4 and the Texans were 12-5. And I still felt like the Texans were the better team.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaguars, to me, I picked them because I'm like, this felt like one of those where they went from being one of the worst teams to potentially one of the better teams. And I still feel that way. But the Texans were solid all year too. So yeah, we all kind of picked proper there. The Colts, I want to say right now, everybody praised me because Chris, when we brought this up earlier in the season, you said, look who's kicking ass now. And you asked about three teams. I think it was the Colts, the Steelers, and another team. I think it was the Patriots.
No, Jaguars.
Maybe it was. But you asked about the Colts, and I said, no, I don't buy it. And I would like to say you can praise me now because I said, no, that team's going to flop. And they did, and they didn't even make the playoff after starting super damn hot.
Hang on a second. What happens
No.
if Daniel Jones doesn't go down?
I still don't think it matters.
But you don't. But that's like saying. Why does it matter that Lamar Jackson got hurt?
Look, I'm not going to say they're not going to win it next year, or be in the running or in the wild card. I'm telling you, I did not buy it this year.
But Daniel Jones got hurt.
Oh, so if your whole team is centered around one fucking guy, there you go.
Like Lamar
You
Jackson.
saw what
But
happened.
wait a minute. Bo Nix got hurt. We were thinking that Stidham's going to take the Broncos to the Super Bowl.
I didn't think they'd make it as far as they did, but
I'm just saying, the quarterback means something.
Yeah, you can't.
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Listen, if Daniel,
But
Jones
everybody was saying top to bottom, that team's solid, and I wasn't seeing it. I didn't buy it.
I wasn't saying that. I never said top to bottom. The team.
Oh no, a lot of people were.
At the time, Chris was asking, like, these teams are hot right now. Who's for real?
Right.
And you did call it. You said the Colts no, Jaguars yes, and what was the Steelers? And you said,
look, there are a few teams that can lose their quarterback and chug along. Like with the Packers, they lost Love for a game or whatever, and Willis came in, and I thought he was better. But not every team can do that. But which team is going to fall apart if that happens? And yeah, the Colts fit the bill perfectly.
But there's only like maybe 3 teams in the entire league that can keep on going if they lose their starting quarterback.
That's probably true.
and that was proved this year, right? Niners,
Yes.
Cincinnati, Ravens.
All the Niners was because of defense.
Well, no,
Well, they had a ton of injuries though too. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we'll get to the Niners.
okay. All right, let's go to the next one.
AFC East. Chris, you and I both had the Bills. Of course, Brennan had the Patriots. Who got the AFCS, Brennan?
Patriots.
Yes, they did. And the Bills were second. So Patriots with, was it 14-3, and the Bills 12-5. So this one was close. And somehow the Dolphins still managed to get third. Obviously, they're also searching for a new coach. Go figure.
no, they hired
The Jets perfectly happy to go 3-14. The Dolphins did hire a former Green Bay defensive coordinator. I saw,
He's
and
going to fail there, by the way.
the Green Bay fans were like, "This is a fucking bad choice." So, Dolphins still happy to suck, I guess.
Brendan, let me ask you a question. Did you pick the Patriots because you thought they were going to win the division, or because you're a Patriots fan?
It was mostly just to get a reaction out of the both of you when I picked them.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
Right.
That was it.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
because you were gonna pick the Bills.
No. If the Patriots had a winning record, I would have been. You know,
Okay.
like, or even just like 50-50 at that point. Let's be serious. Because the year before, what did we go? Like 4-10?
Right.
Yeah, I think you won 2 or 3 games. Yeah.
Or 4-9 or whatever. Yeah, it was not good. So yeah, if they would have got over 500, I would have been ecstatic. So the fact
You
that
won at least 10 more games this season than you won last season.
so crazy. It's so
Yeah.
crazy. But I mean, you look at the Patriots. I mean, they upgraded on their front line, gave their quarterback time to throw the ball. Their defense is lights out, and whoever is doing the coordinating on the defensive side is doing a incredible job, because they're, you know, in the first half they're probably not doing that great, but the adjustments made afterwards is just unbelievable, and they're and even in the postseason, they've been blitzing way more than they've been blitzing in the regular season. So it's just I just this is this team and the coaching staff completely different. Team is completely different. So I'm all around happy with what they've done, obviously.
Well,
but
well, this is another similarity between both of your teams. How much of their success this season, Brendan, do you put on having a new head coach? Because I was highly critical of your previous 2 head coaches.
I like Gerard Mayo, so I hate to bash him. He only had 1 season to do anything, and the front line was garbage. The offensive line was garbage. The quarterback couldn't even take 2 seconds to throw the ball. Never mind 3 seconds. Like so I think it's really a combination of both. If it's Vrabel that is building up the team that made it better, then it's all on the coaching staff there. If it's just a combination of the general manager knowing who to pick there, then I guess you know what I mean. I mean, they saw what they needed to improve on and they did it. So I mean, I know you don't like Gerard Mayo, but
yeah, as an outsider, I mean, obviously I'm not watching the Pats nearly as close as you are, but as an outsider, I don't think he was a good coach. He's not. I mean, if he is, then let's see him pop up somewhere else, because he's not on anybody's list.
He's not on anyone's radar. Yeah.
Not even as a coordinator. Not even as a coordinator.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they picked him to be the coach, and I don't know. Although you and Greg had a theory on it, and it might be completely accurate.
I just don't think I mean, compared to one of the other good coaches in the league, I don't think he's a good coach. So the fact that
But how can you judge him on 1 season?
Well, I know that Mike Vrabel is a good coach. So
well, yes, of course. I mean, but again, he had how many seasons? What did he have? 5 with the Titans, and he did great there.
Right.
But he had 5 seasons.
Well, that's fine. Let Gerard Mayo get another coaching job and prove me wrong.
Yes, I agree completely. Yeah.
I mean, if he's a legitimate coach, then he'll be on other people's lists. He'll be discussed and he'll get another job. I predict that he doesn't.
Here's the problem. Here's the only thing that I would say with this is that before Gerard Mayo, the team sucked. 1 year with Gerard Mayo, the team didn't suck, or sucked just as bad. Excuse me, I misspoke. Sucked just as bad. And then all of a sudden Vrabel shows up and the team's great. So I don't know if he drafted all the guys that need to be drafted, and then
Vrabel turned the team around in 1 season.
Yeah.
So it's really impressive. I don't know. I mean, they're around Gerard Mayo every day. So obviously they didn't have enough confidence in him and they booted him after 1 season. Right. I mean,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not trying to stomp on Gerard Mayo's grave, but I think having the right coach is huge. And I think Mike Vrabel was a great coach and he's a great hire. And now they won the division and they've got a really bright future. So I think it's a very close comparison to, I mean, look at the string of terrible coaches that the Bears hired. So I think it's
right.
It's a very close comparison, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The first season they hire a decent coach, They win just like the Patriots. They win the division. Their coach, the young quarterback that everyone across the country was writing off is all of a sudden a future superstar, and away we go.
But regardless of coach, there's still a staff there that is jumping on and drafting people that need to be drafted. So I guess I'm maybe just don't know how much the head coach actually has to do with all the drafting in the beginning, and then if you
hire the right guy, he has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I mean, but hey, they drafted who they needed to draft, and they got a front line that needed to be gotten because, man, I think that was their biggest weakness. I mean, their defense was not great also in the last couple of years, but their front offensive line was just absolute hot garbage.
Well, you guys know as well as I do that if you hire the right coach and you have enough confidence in him, you give him a lot of autonomy, and part of that autonomy is making most of the personnel decisions.
Yeah.
First of all, you let him hire his entire staff, and you butt out. You let him bring in his entire team, staff and coaches, and then secondly, you let him make all of the player personnel decisions. Now, obviously, you got to keep him in the boundaries of the cap, whatever your budget is, that kind of thing. But in terms of choosing players, like it's basically the opposite of what the Cowboys are doing. Okay, let's just be honest, right? Jerry Jones is one of the biggest buffoons in the history of pro sports. He's doing it wrong.
We're getting there. We're getting there, buddy.
I know.
I was going to say we're almost there.
And the Bears and Patriots are doing it right. They picked the right guy. They gave him complete autonomy. He made the right decisions. Both of you won your divisions. That's the playbook. That's the recipe.
Either way, I'm extremely happy with this team. I mean, I definitely picked it for shock value, not for thinking that they were actually going to win the division or even make it to the playoffs. So,
but look, I would say the exact same thing to you that I said to Tony. Like, you guys are emerging now. Like, you've got an incredibly bright. Your window just is starting to open. Like, you've got an incredibly bright future because you've identified your quarterback, you've got your coach, and everybody knows what to do. And except for the Bills, who you could argue whose window is closing, and who the hell knows who they're going to pick, you might run off a string of divisions wins now. Like, this could be a real run because the Bills are at the tail. They're kind of the Chiefs, right? They're kind of the Chiefs and the Rams, and like they're at.
Yeah, because I remember watching Josh Allen in college at Wyoming. So. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yes. But I don't know. The Bills are still 12-5. They still made it to the playoff. They still, I mean, although they had a rough patch in the middle of the season, I don't want to write them off completely.
I don't either. But they've consistently not been able to get over the hump in the playoff.
Definitely. That's definitely an issue. Yeah.
Listen, the Bills took the extra step that Tony wishes that the Packers did, is that they fired a good coach. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
They did you the additional favor of getting rid of a great coach. So who the hell?
With John Harbaugh already spoken for. So what the fuck were they thinking?
Right. And Kevin Stefanski, he might have been near the top of your list. He's been taken now. So like the Bills, they just sabotage themselves. They're committing suicide because you've got to. I mean, like, did Josh Allen want Sean McDermott fired? If he did, then fine. Then I guess that's fine, because you got to make the most of the rest of Josh Allen's career, because the way he plays, his career could be over within a season or two.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so whoever they hire, and the pool now is pretty weak, especially with Matt LaFleur not out on the market. So what quality coach are they going to find? So now they're experimenting with head coaches in the back half of Josh Allen's career. So to me, the best case scenario for the Bills, with the Patriots emerging, is second place, facing elimination as they enter the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
And they were already second place to the Chiefs. So I don't know. I think, man, the future is incredible. Now, listen, Tony, I think you've got a much harder climb, because I think the Detroit's still in the middle of their window. And the Packers are still the Packers. So you've got a much, much, much harder division. Whereas the Patriots, Patriots may be heading back into a period of time not completely unlike the one that Tom Brady operated in.
Yep.
Right. Well, that's all the time we have on the AFC West. Jesus. Okay, so the East. Yeah, we still have the AFC West.
Yep.
So I went with the easy pick, and I picked the Chiefs. That could not have been more fucking wrong, and I'm not upset about it.
Nope.
Brendan, you picked the Chargers, and Chris, kudos to you. You picked the Broncos.
Oh,
Who won the AFC West?
the Broncos.
There you go. Kudos, Chris.
Nice
Well,
work.
Solid pick. Solid pick.
If we were talking about next year, I'm very clear. I'm going to pick the Broncos again next year because I now understand that the Chargers can't. They don't know how to win. Like I thought,
It's the same thing as the Bills, apparently. Yeah.
right. If you have a Harbaugh as a coach, I thought, well, he's finally gonna make something out of Justin Herbert. I don't think you can. I think we've seen everything that Herbert can do, and the Chargers are not going to threaten for the division. Like they still may win somewhere between 8 and 11
Right.
this season. I think the Broncos are the emerging team. Now the problem is that Bo Nix, as talented as he is, he actually is injury prone.
Very. Yes. That it's a short window.
Yeah.
Yes, and so they better start grooming their next quarterback, in my opinion. You can probably get something really spectacular out of Bo Nix for maybe the next 2 to 3 seasons, but I think you better also have a really good backup quarterback because he's going to miss time. But I still think the Broncos are going to win some divisions over the next few years.
If I had to pick right this second, I think you're right, Chris. The Chargers, you know what you're going to get out of them, and they're going to fall flat in the playoffs or coming close to it. So you know what you're going to get there.
He's 0-4 in the postseason. 0. He's won 0 postseason games.
Yep. Broncos, short window aside, do have potential to just flood it again next year.
And a great coach.
I think the Chiefs are going to be right back in it, though. I expect them to be right back in the mix. I don't know that they're a lock. I wouldn't say that. Had Vegas done the correct thing and picked John Harbaugh as their coach, I would have picked them. But I will pick them to finish dead last again. And I think right now, it'd be a coin flip for me between the Chiefs and the Broncos to win it next year. So
I think the AFC West is similar to the NFC North in that you've got 3 very, very good coaches. Like you've got some of the best coaches in the history of the NFL in the AFC West right now.
Yeah.
But the difference is that where they are in their development windows is far different.
Well, it's ironic you should say that because the next up is the NFC North. So this will be interesting. I did not go the Homer route. I picked the Lions. Brendan picked the Vikings. And Chris, you picked the Packers. None of us picked the 2025 NFC North winners, the Chicago fucking Bears. And I do want to say, I can't think of who it was off the top of my head who made the announcement at the draft in Green Bay when they picked Luther Burden from Missouri with whichever pick it was, but called their shot. I think it was a former Bear guy. I'm drawing a blank. Called their shot, said the 2025 NFC North Division champions, Chicago Bears. It's amazing.
Well, I thought the Bear. I thought Ben Johnson would have a lot of potential, but I would have thought it would take him 2 or 3 years to.
It's going to, and we saw that. And we talked about that. It's the game management. He calls a game a lot like I would if I were playing Madden. And I do appreciate that a little bit, but when there's so much on the line, like against the Rams, I didn't want to see that. I wanted a little bit more conservatism and like getting the points and securing the win. And we had a lot of chances to do that, but man, am I excited to really see what he can do as he develops as a coach. And the double and triple tight end offensive attack that Chicago really perfected this year with Cole Kmet and Colson Loveland, the rookie, Luther Burden, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, receiver, and the league leading defensive takeaways. Like, my God, I cannot tell you how much fun it was. And even when they were losing or they were behind, it was just, they were playing the style of football. It's like, this is actually fun to watch. This is not just like clinical football. At least it was fun to watch. And 7, almost 8 games were ridiculous comeback victories, completely highly improbable, with like less than 15% chance of comeback and win. And they did it. And Caleb Williams kind of cemented himself as a a Chicago legend in the making. I'm not going to put him up there with Michael Jordan yet, but my God, he sure tried. There's some still shots of him throwing a couple of those fourth down passes that you're like, holy shit, I see some Air Jordan in that. But the potential's there. You've got a potential franchise roster right there. If you can keep most of them, and Ben Johnson can keep growing, and the defense can keep doing what it's doing. Wow, the future looks so bright. I'm super excited. So
I'm incredibly jealous of both of you.
I'll take it. That's the first. I'll take it. I've never heard that. So yeah,
I know.
Loved the NFC North this year. I was a little disappointed in the Lions, even though we did go 0-2 against them somehow. The Vikings sucked, and the Packers did what they do. They choked and are the softest fan base in the league.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, real quick, just top to bottom. I think the NFC North has the best collection of coaches, maybe on average.
Right, but it doesn't have the best record. That's coming up, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
If I'm not mistaken.
A lot of good coaches in that division, though.
For sure.
I'd be happy to have any of the four of those coaches.
All right,
there you go. We're moving on to the NFC South, and I went with a dark horse. I was wrong, but there was potential there, and there's not anymore. So I will not be picking the Falcons next year. I think they hired not a good coach. I can't even remember who the fuck it was, but it wasn't a good one. Brendan, you picked Tampa Bay, and Chris, you picked Tampa Bay. None of us were right.
They only lost the division on the last game of the season, though.
Yeah, but none of us were right. So I'm gonna drag you guys down with me in picking incorrectly. So there you have it.
They all went 8-9. It was.
Yeah. The NFC South was ultimately won by who? The Panthers.
Yeah.
Because somebody had to win it. There you go. The division winner was 8-9. This is most ridiculous. Can you scroll down? Are you still on that page, Brendan?
Yeah, but that division's been ridiculous
it is though. But look at this. It was 8-9. The Panthers and the Buccaneers were 8-9, and the Falcons too, who fired their coach, were also 8-9. So it's not like I was that far off.
No, and the Saints won 6, so it was almost a complete 4-way tie.
The three-way tie almost.
The Falcons in conference were 7-5, and Buccaneers and Panthers were 6-6.
Oh my God! What a shit show! This was the worst division in the NFL.
Garbage.
Correct.
Terrible.
They have been for a while.
Yeah, and that's fair. And I think Carolina has potential, and I really like some of the stuff that the Buccaneers were doing. And I really thought if a few things went right, the Falcons could make some noise. And gosh, Brendan, who's there at the bottom of the NFC South? Can you scroll down? I can't see it.
That would be the Saints.
Really far down. Really far. Oh, 6-11. Oh, so 11. Somebody had to go above and beyond to be the worst team in the NFL, and the Saints really made a strong case. Horrible division, terrible. So the two teams that almost won it fired their coach, but did the Saints fire their coach?
No, he's a first-year head coach. He's the former
offensive coach. That makes sense. So the worst one in the worst division kept his job, and the two that almost won the division got fired. Okay, so let's move on.
Wait, the Bucs didn't fire their coach?
I don't think so. No.
But
no, you're right. You're right. No, they did not.
But I might take the Panthers to win the division next year.
I think as it sits right now, they're probably more consistent.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is fantastic. Sorry, that's Jaguars. Who the fuck? Not Trevor Lawrence. Former Alabama. What the fuck is his name? Bryce Young. Thank you. It's all Southeast region. Because I think they were about the same class, or like a year removed. And I thought when Bryce Young was coming up, was he in Caleb Williams' class?
Yes.
This was his second year, right? Yeah. Yes. So I thought there was a strong push that for a little while that Chicago might make a move for him. And I'm really glad they didn't. but I think they've got a good thing going here. I really do. I think he's if you keep him healthy and you keep building that, yeah, I think you're right. I think I'd pick them right now. If I had to pick right now, I would say for sure the Panthers.
I think the Bucks are on that list of teams where the window's closing. I mean, they're the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, they play too erratically though.
Bills. I mean, I love
They
Baker
fell
Mayfield.
apart.
I love the way he plays. He's kind of a Josh Allen style player.
I would
And
agree.
His
Yeah.
window is closing. He's getting older, and so I think they're on the list of teams where the window is closing. So
I'll give you my standings right now. There you go. Panthers, Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers. They're going to finish last.
Buccaneers.
There you go.
no,
Yep. That's my hot
take.
take.
I think it might finish the way you're looking at it right here. Actually, it might.
It's
Finish
the NFC South. It's the worst division in football. Don't matter.
That's right.
Let's move on.
All right,
Just be
next.
the AFC East.
NFC East. This one was, well, this was interesting. Okay, so Brendan, you and I both had the Eagles. Chris, you had the Commanders. The Commanders finished third. The Giants finished dead last with a record of 4-13, and somehow might be the biggest winners in the NFL by getting John Harbaugh.
Correct.
The Commanders went 5-12, did not do well. Somehow the Cowboys went 7-9, and of course missed the playoff. And the Eagles did repeat. Chris, you were adamant that was not going to happen because it had not repeated in X amount of
21
time.
seasons. 21 seasons.
That's crazy. Over 2 decades, and it finally happened. And I'll be frank, this Eagles team probably should not have won the division, but they did. 11-6, but they did it in spite of themselves.
But what happens if the Commanders' quarterback doesn't go down for several games?
Yeah, I think the Cowboys definitely don't finish second.
But I mean, they might have won the division, like I said.
Maybe.
It's
Maybe.
possible.
Yep.
It is possible. Yeah, that pretty much sums that one up. Let's go to lastly, the NFC West.
Hang on a second.
No, Chris has nothing to say about the Cowboys.
Yeah, no,
Nothing.
nothing.
Well, I'm not going to repeat what I've already said about the Cowboys. The Cowboys,
Right.
They've gone 31 seasons in futility. That could continue for another 31 seasons, quite honestly. I know that sounds insane, but until the Jones family relinquishes ownership of the Cowboys, what you've seen for the last 31 years could continue into the future for whatever.
Right.
Obviously, as a Cowboys fan, I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm prepared for it to happen. So I really don't have anything else to say about the Cowboys beyond that. But I think in terms of predicting next season, I think it's going to be really hard to predict this division because with John Harbaugh, the Giants, and so they potentially have their starting quarterback, they have their running back, and they've got a great head coach now. So he's got some pieces. Oh, and they've got Malik Neighbors, their wide receiver. So he's got some pieces, and John Harbaugh knows what to do in the offseason. So could the Giants go from worst to first? Quite possibly. He might leave.
It is very likely, I think.
I'm not predicting it, although come September or August, I might predict it. The Giants could legitimately go from worst to first and win this division next season. That could happen. But also, presumably the Commanders are going to have a healthier roster. They're going to have an off season to fix their woes. The Cowboys are going to be exactly where they are right now, either in second, third, and the Eagles are so drama filled. Who knows what's going to happen with the Eagles? Because the fact of the matter is that they don't have that great of a passing quarterback either. So I wouldn't predict the Eagles necessarily. This is where we sit today. I wouldn't pick them necessarily to win the division. I think the Giants and Commanders are going to compete for the division lead. And I kind of just for fun, and we'll see how I feel in August, I might pick the Giants to win the division just because.
I think in 2 years, you could flip this top to bottom and bottom to top, and that's your finish in 2 years.
Yeah. As someone who had the Eagles quarterback in their fantasy team, I can completely agree with what Chris just said.
Yeah.
Passing quarterback. What it just
Right.
He just was garbage half the season.
Yes.
So the fact that they even placed in number one there, just
it's incredible.
Annoying.
But the only reason they did that is because the rest of the division is so terrible.
Yeah, and the Cowboys looked like they were coming on strong at one point, and then all of a sudden they just dropped off. So, well, I was rooting for Dak because he's only got so much time left.
He's also the highest paid player in the NFL,
even though he got paid a ass ton of money. Good job, Jones.
Wow.
But yeah,
he makes $12 million a month.
Yeah, the Eagles
that's
extremely, which is crazy to me because they have one of the best running backs in the league. How do you not capitalize on this?
Well, they fired an offensive coordinator, so obviously it's his fault.
Yeah, I mean it's just absolute garbage. I mean, between Saquon Barkley and what's his name? Jalen Hurts? No, not Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts. I had him on my league, and I still don't want to remember his name because he was just such a garbage this year. But, like between the two of them, they both have legs. You can throw the ball. You have two threats, just for the running threats right there. Like you should be an unstoppable team at that point. But yeah,
should be
just awful. Just
well,
awful.
I don't think it's untrue to say that any one of those four teams could win the division next year.
That's fair. I think this one's wide open. Yeah,
it really is. I mean, the Cowboys can win their division, but it just means they're going to lose the first game of the playoffs. But they can win. They can win 10 or 11 games in the regular season and win a division. They know how to do that. They just fail in the playoffs. So literally, any of these four teams could win the division next year.
I'll agree with you, except for the Eagles. They probably can't.
Why?
No, I'm just saying that out of spite. It's just simply out of spite. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a lock that the Eagles will not win it, but I think they could finish second.
Yeah.
I think that's their ceiling.
Yeah. I'll go with
that. Lastly, the best division in football.
Yep.
This is stupid.
Why? Because three of the four teams advanced in the playoffs.
This is just ridiculous. I picked the 49ers. Brendan, you picked the 49ers. And Chris, you picked the Rams. And the standings go as follows. Can you scroll down just a hair more? Sorry. There you go. The Cardinals are the worst team in the NFL amongst the Saints. My God, they don't belong in this division.
Or the Jets. The Jets were 3-14, I think.
So the Jets, the Cardinals, and the Saints and the Raiders are the worst four teams ever. The Cardinals finished 3-14. But past that, the 49ers finished third and were 12-5. The Rams finished second and were 12-5. And the Seahawks 14-3. So I just want to point out that, I thought the NFC North could make another case for being the best division in football. No, it's not even close. The NFC West, this is a juggernaut division, and my God. Wow. And the 49ers finishing third is because their defense and all the other injuries just fell apart. The Rams, Stafford, and what they're capable of doing just consistently, very much the reason they finished second. But the fucking Seahawks, holy shit. This team is scary. This defense and offense is scary.
With that quarterback.
Yeah. And here's the funny thing. This is even more hilarious. Look at these standings. The best division in football, and the Seahawks win it handily. I'm going to read you our list of wild card teams. I had the Commanders, the Broncos, Rams, Cincinnati, Vikings, Chargers. Brendan had Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Rams, Packers, Commanders. Chris had Ravens, Chiefs, Chargers, Eagles, Lions, 49ers. I want you all to understand that not once on this list of division winners or wildcard teams do the fucking Seahawks even come up.
Yep.
And they are going to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they probably will.
Holy shit, this team is scary good.
Yep.
I wasn't kidding earlier when I said the only upside to losing to the Rams is we do not have to go get skull fucked by Seattle. That's true. The Rams are about to get skull fucked by Seattle. What did they win their game by? 41-3?
Yeah.
Terrifying. I don't even remember who they beat off the top of my head now. Who did they beat?
The Niners.
The Niners. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because, oh my God.
They won 12 games and advanced in the playoffs with a bunch of injuries.
And finished third in their division. That's insane.
Can either one of you name the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks?
Nope.
It's not Pete Carroll anymore.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, we could name 5 or 6, maybe 7 of what we consider the best coaches in the NFL.
Right. And no, I wouldn't know. And the Seahawks, this is a ridiculous team, and this is a ridiculous season.
But their starting quarterback is Sam Darnold, and none of them can name their head coach.
No, and I'm going to kick myself.
But I mean, no, he's not an obvious name. I don't know who it is. No one talks about their head coach and their quarterback is Sam Darnold, and they're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
It's nuts.
I didn't know their quarterback was Sam Darnold until you said it.
Yeah, you forget. You forget.
But how are they the most dominant team in the NFL?
It's Mike McDonald, FYI.
Oh, I was just searching it.
Mike McDonald was hired in 2024 to replace Pete Carroll, who just did a bang-up job with the Raiders. Jesus.
Fuck that guy.
Right, Mike McDonald.
Yeah. Well, like, holy shit. This might be the scariest team for a while. Chris, you were bringing up like upstarts and dynasties and the beginnings. This is it.
Yeah.
The Seahawks are going to be terrifying moving forward. If they don't win it this year by some stroke of misfortune, look out next year, because this might be my lock to win this division for the next 5 years.
Well, yeah, maybe because how long is Matthew Stafford going to play? Is he even going to play one more season? And then
this might be it for him, actually.
Probably. And then the 49ers arguably are one of the best organizations in football. And yet year after year, they have so many injuries. And now they did commit to Brock Purdy, finally, Mr. Invisible. But I mean, Kyle Shanahan's an excellent coach, and he cannot seem to get them. Now they've been to the Super Bowl, but they haven't won a Super Bowl. I mean, the 49ers might be one of the best teams of the last 10 years to not win a Super Bowl. They've been
it's up there with the snake bitten can't win it like the Vikings.
I think it might be worse than the Vikings because they've gotten closer.
Oh, I don't know. The Vikings had a real nasty run there.
Yeah, at least the 49ers actually
But in
won.
recent years, the 49ers have gotten much closer more often than the Vikings have.
No, the Vikings have played in like how many Super Bowls and never walked away with it.
I'm just talking about the last 10 years or so.
Well, okay, so if we're talking more modern, that's probably fair. That's probably fair.
Yeah, because who's the kneeler? The kneeler that they went to the Super Bowl with? What's his name? That's when it all started. What's his name? What's that guy's name?
The kneeler?
Oh, fucking Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, so that was the first time I think Shanahan got hired and went right to the Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick. Didn't win, and he's been flirting with the Super Bowl ever since. But they haven't won a single Super Bowl.
I have a funny Kaepernick quip. Years ago, I did a random fantasy draft with some guys on a message board, and they were like, it was getting towards the end of it, and they're like, oh, I wanted my last pick to be Colin Kaepernick, and it'd be funny, but I couldn't find him in the search bar. I'm like, well, that's probably because he was kneeling.
Yeah. So but you might be right because, well, I mean, you can never count out Sean McVay, right?
Right.
Or even if he loses Matt Stafford, which I'm sure he's thought about that, for crying out loud, he's gonna find someone else. He's gonna coach him up. Their next quarterback might be on their staff already. It might be the whole Jordan Love thing where he's waiting in the wings. I don't know. I haven't looked at their depth chart, but I mean, Sean McVay is still one of the best coaches in football, right? So whoever replaces Stafford, he's going to coach him up, and they're still going to compete. Now, can they flirt with the division or make a playoff run? That remains to be seen. But I'm not counting McVay out.
Yeah.
Well, before we finish the football talk, we'll touch more on this once we get to the Super Bowl. But I think we should probably make a prediction for division the next round. So go back to the bracket quick. Let's just give a quick hit how we think this is going to shake out. And I had a really good bracket going. I was 100% until the other day, and I had
What the hell?
who screwed me? It was I'll have to look at it now because I was 100% until this last weekend. It was going so well. I'll have to look at it.
Wow.
So what do we got? What are the matchups we've got coming up here
I
this
don't know.
week?
What I just started.
Well, you got the Pats going to Denver, and you've got the Rams going to Seattle.
Yep.
So I think this is probably one of the easier.
I think so too.
I think this is one of the easier picks I've ever made. I had 100% bracket. I had the Texans beating the Steelers, Bills beating the Jags, Patriots beating the Chargers, Rams beating the Panthers, 49ers beating the Eagles, and the Bears beating the Packers. And then the next round, I had the Broncos, I had the Seahawks, I had the Rams, just because I went with my gut instead of my heart. And I for some reason I picked the Texans over the Patriots on this bracket. That was the one that fucked me. I would have still 100% perfect bracket had I not made that. So Broncos, Patriots, real fast. Does anybody believe that the Broncos without Bo Nix can beat the Patriots?
I don't think so.
Mm.
It's not impossible because it is in Denver and they've got a great coach and a pretty strong defense, probably the second or third best defense in football.
Yeah,
but
might be closer than it deserves to be. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Okay.
Also, just real quickly, I meant to say something earlier regarding the AFC South. The Texans have to decide if they're going to re-sign CJ Stroud.
Yes, you're right.
Because he's at the end of his rookie contract. I would not re-sign CJ Stroud.
Really?
That's 50-50 for me.
It is 50-50, but I would choose to not do that. And I think the Texans are about to spiral again.
Whoa.
Well, without going down another path, I mean, I don't know if the crop coming out is like strong enough to ditch him for, because like the Saints or the Raiders or the Jets are going to get Mendoza of the Indiana Hoosiers, who just went 16-0. And that's the first time Indiana's ever won a national championship. It was an incredible game. Fuck Miami. Thank God they didn't win it. That's my college football update. Mendoza's going to go, and past him, there's not a lot of strong choices. Like I think Carson Beck of Miami is also going to enter the draft, and I don't think I'd pick him either because I've never been thrilled with him, and he was at Georgia before that. So I don't know.
The question is why not Stroud?
Yeah, why not Stroud?
I mean, down the stretch, he played very poorly. He's been real touch and go last two seasons.
That could turn around.
Well, he got them to the second round of the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah, I
don't
think I'd let him go.
Don't get me wrong; he played like absolute shit against the Patriots. Like that score doesn't reflect how badly he played.
But for half the season, he's played like garbage.
I think he's more of a game manager than a game changer.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. In terms of talent, I'd put him on the same level as Jalen Hurts.
All right, I'd put him in that same vein, but I think Hurts is probably better at getting yards and keeping drives alive.
Well, I think Philly's got a better roster and they've had a better coach.
And that's probably why.
I think DeMeco Ryans is a decent coach. I don't think he's a bad coach, but I'm just telling you right now, if the Texans sign up for a big contract with CJ Stroud, they will regret it.
All right.
I want to go on record as saying that.
All right.
And I would not sign him.
Okay. Early enough. So we've all pretty much got the Patriots beating the Broncos. And then the other matchup, does anybody want to pick the Rams against the Seahawks? Because I don't.
I think the Rams could beat the Seahawks, but they won't.
I don't think they can. I don't think it's going to happen. As much as I love Chicago and as close as that game was, I think this is another lopsided win for the Seahawks.
You think it's lopsided?
I do. I think it's at least 2 scores. At least
2 scores, meaning 10 points.
Yeah, I'll go with 10 points at least.
Or do you mean 2 touchdowns?
I'm gonna say the Seahawks beat the Rams by 11 plus.
Boy, the line is 2.5. I think. No,
I don't care. I don't care. I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't. Because I think that defense is legitimately scary.
Seahawks 2.5.
Yeah, no.
And
Give me the Seahawks by 11.
The home team gets 3, so basically it's
just
a wash.
For that reason, I'm going to go with the Rams.
Whoa, you are full of shit. You don't mean that.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams. Hey, listen, I picked the Patriots, okay?
Fine.
You really
Fine.
You really think the Rams are going to win that game? You think they're going to win?
I don't think they're going to win that game.
No, I don't think they're going to win. But hey, I'm going to pick them because I'm a gambler.
Okay. Fine.
Clearly.
Well, we'll talk about these two games because I'm hoping they're both good. So on the next episode, we'll talk about both those games and we'll do a Super Bowl preview. But let's wrap up the football talk. And before we get out of here, I did want to talk some dad stuff because I have some brags.
Absolutely, bring it.
Yeah, you do.
So we're like super thick into sports early year seasons, which is basketball and wrestling right now. Striker, who's 10, is doing basketball. They're 5-1 right now. They just lost their first one here Sunday. I don't know. They were off. They were off against. They play 2 games every week. They won their first one, and it was against a really really not a good team, and they didn't win convincingly. You could just tell everybody was off. So the next one was against a team that they probably could have beaten had they been able to sink shots, but they lost, and it was fine. But the hilarious thing, so a couple of years ago at one of our birthday parties, Striker I was say it was like probably his 8th birthday. He had all of his buddies come over, plus all the in-laws from her side come over because any chance to come to a family get together, they take it, and they don't leave. We just that's the day. That's just how her side is, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So they're there, and him and his buddies are sitting around, and we're just hounding them relentlessly as we should. Dad and uncles and his friends, and we were giving them all girl names, and by girl names I mean stripper stage names. And I can't for the life of me remember what any of the other boys got, but for some reason Striker got Cinnamon, and I might have even been the one who called him that. But Sunday, between games, one of his uncles and his 2 daughters and his wife show up in the middle of this thing with a giant fucking sign that says "Go Cinnamon" with a basketball.
Awesome.
It was incredible, and you could just see it on his face. He's like super pissed, but at the same time, he's like, "Yeah, that's funny. That's a pretty good one there. That's a good one. I can't be too mad. I'll see if I can."
Kind of up.
It's a little bright, but yeah.
Nice.
He loved it. He hated it, but he loved it. And his friends thought it was the greatest thing ever. I'm like, I'm sorry if that sticks. I really am. So
every kid needs a good nickname.
Yeah, and that's not it. But no, they for sure. Yeah, if he ever wants a stage name. But no, then last night, so they've got, I think it's going to be another 3v3 thing, and it's some kind of like quote unquote all-star deal. And they voted. So the 2 coaches are actually parents of one of the other kids on the team. They're like, it's not fair if we vote. We're going to let the kids on the team vote. Who are the 3 kids who you want to see on this all-star whatever game? And on the way home Sunday, I was telling Striker, I'm like, look, it doesn't matter because he sinks like 1 basket maybe, and he maybe makes 2 or 3 attempts. He's more of a like game manager, like calling out, being where he needs to be, sets up screens. He's just very consistent, and he makes an impact by like being where he needs to be, being a team player, listening to the coaches, and just doing everything he needs to. Fundamentally, he's very strong in that regard. He's not an amazing shooter. He sinks a good shot here and there. Sometimes maybe should take more, but he's like, I just don't think I'm that good. Well, he was one of the kids that all the other kids voted on. Actually, he was second behind the kid who's truly an all-star. And then the other kid was the coach's son, who's a pretty damn good shot too. And I'm like, this is what I told you, buddy. Like this is why it matters. Like you have a positive attitude. You listen to the coaches. You are super supportive of all your friends on the team, and that's why it makes a big difference. And you could tell it like really meant a lot to me. He was trying to downplay it like it didn't mean too much, but I'm like, I know it did.
Yeah.
And this is why you've got to embrace that. And that's why I'm so happy and proud that you like embrace that mentality. Be focused, try your hardest, and just be there for your friends. And it makes such a huge difference. So that was a cool thing.
That's great.
So
you
I'd
had
like to
you
piggyback
had
off
some
that.
you had some wrestlers.
Oh, that's right.
yes, that's the other thing. So yeah, we're deep into wrestling, and we there were some like before there were some pre-league practices, and both the twins went to these because they were both doing it last year, and they're like, well, we want to get these kids a little more prepared for if they're going to like stick with this. So both of them were going to it, and then those ended, and the actual season started. And weigh-in comes, and Taven's all in because he like had such a remarkable turnaround. He went 0-3 in one tournament, and then went 2-1, night and day difference the next week. So he's all in.
Damn.
Jarek decided he didn't want to do it this year. So I show up with just Taven, and the coaches are like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. He doesn't want to do it because he went 0-6 last year, and he got pinned in all 6 of them.
That's tough. Yeah.
Well, he was a first grader, but he weighed as much as a second grader because he's just thick and dense. So he got put up against kids who way more experienced, way bigger, and older. So of course he got beat. Well, he just didn't want to do it. So that really soured him on it. So I show up with one, and they're like, oh, man. Like, well, if he changes his mind, bring him. So Taven's done 2 tournaments, back-to-back weeks, and he went 6-0. Like he fought his ass off. He kicked ass. It was amazing. I was blown away. This kid was so fucking good. He got, I think, 1 pin, and then the other 5 was technical points differentials, whatever. So, and I don't know the difference, but whatever. So he kicked ass, and I was so happy. So then Jarek sees that praise. He's like, well, maybe I guess I could go to practice. So he went to practice last night. I think he's going to go in tomorrow.
Nice.
So I think he might have a turnaround. So things are looking up.
Little motivation.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
Good flex.
Winter sports are looking up. So good deal.
Man. All right, let's call it there. There's so much more to talk about, but we don't have time, and I'm exhausted. But go ahead, Greg.
If I could, I'll be quick. But I want to piggyback off of Tony because my son Liam, who's played a lot of the sports, he's mostly into soccer and basketball, but it's basketball season. But in his lifetime, first of all, Liam's very competitive, and he works pretty hard. Not independently, but when he's at practice or at a game, like he plays hard with his teammates. But in his lifetime, he's done a lot of losing, like a lot, and it's been really hard on him. And even this current basketball team he's playing with, with the school now, they're not that great. I mean, they've got a good coach, and he's trying to coach him up, but they're just not doing that well. And they finally won their first game this couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, the thing that I'm the most proud of Liam is that, man, that kid will hustle. Like, he plays hard. He used to be one of the bigger.
That's all you can ask.
Right. That is all I can ask. He used to be one of the bigger, taller kids. Now he's not. Now all the other boys have caught up, so he's a little bit shorter, but just plays his tail off. Like, on defense, he is an animal, which I love because defense is all about effort.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
He is a menace on defense on the basketball court. And then this game that they just played, this team before whooped on him pretty good. and they beat them in a narrow victory, their first victory of the season. And down the stretch, Liam hit a nothing but net 3.
Yes.
A big role in the victory. Like for a 13-year-old kid to hit it from downtown.
Yes.
Like that is huge.
That's awesome.
And
yes.
He was so happy, and I'm so happy for him. And they might lose the rest of their games. Who knows? But they won this one.
You got that moment though. That's all that matters. Yeah.
He did. And actually, tomorrow night, I don't know when you're going to post this, but tomorrow night, they just moved to a new building. The school did, and they're going to play their first game at their home court. So I know the boys are real excited about that, and who knows? So, but it was really great. I've been sure to tell him how much I recognize how hard he plays and how much he hustles.
Oh yeah,
and just made the biggest deal I possibly could over that 3 that he sunk, because it just sailed and it was so fun. It was so great.
Beauty.
Yeah, that's the thing with Striker. Like I'm like, you know what you're like. You're getting those rebounds. You're fighting your ass off on defense, setting up screen. And he's not a fast kid, but getting up and down the court, being where you need to be, it makes such a difference.
Well, I don't know what you guys were like when you were kids, but
I was not an athlete.
Well, I wasn't either. But I'm just saying, like, I would have been intimidated by bigger, faster kids or athletes.
Yeah, for sure.
Liam doesn't give a shit about the other kid. Like that, another kid could be 1.5 feet taller and way faster, bigger, and stronger. He doesn't care. He will guard them and play.
Well, yeah. See, and that was the thing with Taven and his wrestling, because he went 3-0. He got first place. He got a medal. He went 3-0. He got first place again this last weekend. Well, it was against first graders, 3 first graders, and he's a second grader. So, but they were the same size as him and bigger, because it was the same weight class. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll see how he does next week. Well, he had another first grader, another first grader, and then the third match was against a second grader. And this kid had at least 6 inches on him. This kid was tall and lanky. And I'm like, and me and Lindsay are both like, oh, this is going to be the test. And he's going to lose this one, but it's okay. And we're going to be proud of him. We're going to, as soon as the other kid like increases the intensity level, he matches it.
Oh, no.
And it's like, and he fucking rocked this kid. I was blown away. You don't know what they're retaining and their level of intensity until it happens in the moment, and it's just so much. I even if these weren't sports that I did, and it's not sports that I enjoy watching, when it's your kid and you're seeing them be awesome and try their hardest, it makes all the difference in the world.
Well, I told him, I said, hey, listen, the fact that you're willing to go hard against a kid, no matter how much bigger he is than you, that's awesome.
Oh, the kid Striker was matched up against, I swear, was outside smoking cigarettes. Like, holy shit. This kid had Striker's one of the bigger kids, and he had probably 30 pounds on Striker and a few inches. I was like, holy shit, does this kid come from middle school?
Does he have a beard? What is
it was ridiculous.
Because it's not just the physicality, it's the mindset.
Yeah.
If your mindset is you don't care how much bigger or stronger that kid is, you're gonna try to dominate him anyways. That is awesome. That's a great way to think.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's just great. So
heck yeah,
proud of him.
Oh yeah, and then my daughter does dance, but they don't score that, so we'll tell you. She's 5. She's adorable. I'll go to the pageant, but whatever.
My other son and daughter are playing parts in the musical version of Finding Nemo, which is also fun.
Okay, that actually sounds badass. I watch that.
They've been at, my middle son's actually been in a few productions, and he loves it. And he's great, and I enjoy going to see him. So
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that's also good.
All right, Brendan, kill it. We know you want to go to bed.
All right. Chris, where can people find you?
Still mostly right here, but if you go to your pod player and you put in Gravity Beer Productions, you're going to find a number of different projects that we're doing. Primarily, I'd like to direct people towards the Pop Culture Project. Just last night, I released episode number 5, and so I'm
gonna have to binge these. I'm excited.
Yeah, so we did one on MTV because MTV shut down their music channels.
Yep.
But the episode we just released is on audio and recorded media. So we cover all the formats that music has come in over the years, as well as music genres and podcasting. So that's what me and Justin covered on this last episode, and we're having fun. Good times.
Love that Jebediah. All right, Right.
So yeah, so glad you can find me on Dark Side of the Fringe, talking about paranormal, conspiracies, cryptids. I think we got a couple of cryptid episodes coming up, a couple of conspiracy episodes coming up. Check that out. Me and Dr. Chicken get into the fringe, if you will. Super duper excited. If you missed it, don't miss the next one. Go to the Big Bucket Empire on Facebook, YouTube, wherever. We just did a live stream, and both of these gentlemen were here for it, and it was a fucking blast. Getting back into the groove of doing a bit of a controversial live stream about hot topics, and it was so much fun to do again. And thank you both for being there, and can't wait to do the next one. Big Bucket Empire, the Dog and Chicken Show. Go to Linktree/Big Buck, and you can find it on there. I promise. Go to my Linktree/Tony the Rod. All my things, especially my OnlyFans. It does not disappoint.
Never.
But most importantly, most consistently, most internationally, where I am capable of being your international sex kitten, right here at Dad's Worldwide.
Yes, sir. All right. Can't stand me, can't stand this episode. You know how to get a hold of us. Hate mail at dadsww.com, or you just want to get a hold of me, Brendan, at dadsww.com. And of course, we will make you laugh, might make you cry, most certainly, somehow, some way, try to make you a better parent. Thank you for listening. Later.